Hello, this is Ifeoma Adolami from the Adolami Law Firm. Um, I am using a new software today, so I just bear with me if I make some mistakes. So I'm an immigration attorney from the Adolami Law Firm, and my office is in New Jersey. I work with clients all over the 50 states of the United States. And today I have a lot of good stuff to tell you, so I'm really excited. And I can't wait to get started. This past week has been tumultuous. I know some of you probably feel the same way. But a lot has happened, and I can't wait to talk about it. I have a really great topic for you guys. It's all about what are we going to expect with the Biden administration. And I just want to talk about the changes that has happened in the past week. Hi, Benjamin. How are you? Hi, Carolina. How are you? So yes, I'm really excited to talk to you guys about all that has happened and all that we think will happen, we pray will happen. And we're all excited, immigration attorneys, because I think that finally that cloud of fear that immigrants have been hovering over in the past 4 years will finally come to an end. Of course, immigration law will still be enforced. Let's not get confused, because immigration law is not an open border policy, but we know that it will be enforced in a humane way, and immigrants will be treated with dignity, which is what we're asking for. Okay, right? So, so if you're here, just put a post on the comment. Let me know that I'm not talking to myself. I know Carolina is here. I know Benjamin is here. Thank you guys for joining. And we can get started soon. So let's start with the fact that the President-elect Biden has assured us that on day one of taking office, he will implement a lot of changes to immigration law. That is exciting. So we know that there are lots of things that this past administration put into effect in the past 4 years. In fact, this administration had an unusual focus on immigration law and immigrants and stopping even legal migration into this country. So going through Biden's website, joebiden.com/immigration, he has talked about some of the things that he's hoping to implement on day one. That's fantastic. Hi, Gagni, good evening. How are you? So let me get started. We're going to talk about the travel ban. The travel ban and the Muslim ban. This affects 13 countries in Africa. You know, I'm Nigerian, so this affects a lot of people I know, my family, my friends. And we know that Biden's administration has indicated that they will be going over this travel ban and, putting a stop to it as soon as possible. So anybody who's looking to file for their family, their spouses, their children, it's good to know that you can go ahead with this. The Biden administration has indicated that it's going to put family reunification first. So that's good to know. So the travel ban and the Muslim ban is one of the things. Those are one of the things that the Biden administration will focus on day one. Another one is the case processing times. Now, in the past 4 years, it's taken like twice the amount of time to get applications processed. And that's because, well, I can't really tell you why, because I just know that it's just taking a longer time, and the administration has just not made it, it wasn't the most important thing for them. And the Biden administration is saying that it's unconscionable for certain applications to take such a long time because people are waiting to get relief and to get status. They can't get a job. They can't take care of their families until their applications are processed. So they're looking into expediting and making this case processing times fast. And that's really great news. So another thing they're looking at is denaturalization. So the Trump administration had this denaturalization policy, and it's always been there, quite frankly, but no other president has focused on denaturalizing naturalized Americans like the past administration. So denaturalization is another thing that the Biden administration has indicated will no longer be a focus of his his administration, because they're not looking to denaturalize people. Now, of course, if the government finds that there's been fraud in the process in which you got naturalized, they would still that. They've done that in the past, and it's not unheard of. But there's not going to be this force who had this policy of going through and trying to denaturalize people who are naturalized. So that's a good thing. Now, talking about denaturalization, let's talk about the new naturalization test. A couple of days ago, we heard that there's going to be a new naturalization test. It's going into effect December 1st, 2020. So basically, this naturalization test is going to be harder, more difficult. In the past, it was 100 questions, and this new test will have, I think it's 128 questions. So in the past, you were supposed to answer 6 out of 10, but with this new naturalization test, you have to answer more questions, and you have to get more right. So you have to answer 12 out of 20. So Linda Louise says, let me put up this question. Show. All right. Linda Louise says, many 18 months extension is expired. What should I do? I'm still working. So Linda Louise, there's a 18-month extension for different categories. Which category are you? Are you the I-751? Yeah, I have to get more information about that, okay? So I can answer your question. So let's talk more about what else is going to change with the Biden administration. Now we have the Nta policy. Now the Nta policy, Nta is a notice to appear. So basically, when you get a notice to appear, you're in immigration court, and the USCIS is looking to deport you. So in the past, when you applied for adjustment of status and or naturalization or one of those applications, and you didn't get approved, the USCIS did not have a mandate to refer you to immigration court. With the Trump administration, that's what they did. So every application could have been risky. So the Biden administration is saying that that they would not be looking to that policy of sending people to deportation when an adjustment of status application doesn't go through, or when your naturalization is problematic for a reason that does not include fraud, is not something they're going to be looking to do. So that's good to know. So talking about the Nta policy, there's also the ICE policy, which the Trump administration had decided that they would basically deport everybody and anybody. Under Obama, they prioritized people who had committed crimes in United States, and at a certain point, actually, they would ask you to come in and just sign in, so they knew you were there. Now, Trump's administration did not honor that, so a lot of people found that when they came in to sign in, they were actually deported. So that's not something the Trump administration is going to be doing. So that's good to know. So I believe that they're going to pretty much follow the Obama administration policy, which is to target just people who have committed crimes for deportation. All right. Hi, Mijay and Zoe. Nice to talk to you guys. So let's see. Now, Daca is another one that another really big win. So if you remember, in June, the case went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said that the USCIS did not have the authority. I think Chad Wolf did not have the Trump administration actually did not have the authority to take away those benefits. And all immigration lawyers were so excited, and we thought, wow, this is wonderful. We're going back to DACA applications, and then some people sent applications to the USCIS, and it was returned. So basically, the Supreme Court ruled that DACA could be reinstated, but USCIS refused to reinstate it. That's what they did, and that was it. But the Biden administration will reinstate it, so that's great. Hi, Elsie. Hi, Linda Louise. Yes, I-751. So Linda Louise, yes, the 18 months extension, you don't have to worry about that, because when you it's given to everybody because they're not able to adjudicate the I-751. So even if it's coming to an end, they will either renew it or they would have scheduled you for an interview at that time. But I wouldn't worry about that, okay? So the other thing we're going to talk about is the public charge rule. Now, the public charge rule there's always been a public charge rule, right? You know, America has a vested interest in making sure people who come in here are not going to be a public charge. However, the way the Trump administration enforced it, the new rule on the public charge rule made it such that it became a wealth test. It was difficult for you to be able to get a green card if you couldn't prove that you were rich, really. You know, and there was this, the officer had a fettered discretion in determining who was likely to become a public charge. And so we're hoping that that the Biden administration will look into that. And unfortunately, the truth of the matter is there's a lot of stuff, a lot of changes that happened in the past 4 years. So it's not like they're going to be able to unroll every single thing that the Trump administration put into effect. It's going to take time, but we hope that this is one of those that they're going to that will get in front of their agenda. So let's see, what else? What else have we read? There's Asylum. So Asylum under the Trump administration became really, really difficult. It was so difficult to get asylum claims because, you know, William Barr put in new rules that made it difficult to prove that you had a fear of persecution. So those are the rules that we're hoping will be rolled back as well, so that people who really can prove that they need to get asylum can get it without being unfairly put onto a really high scrutiny that no one can pass. I mean, it got so difficult for people to win asylum cases just because of the new rules that were put in place. So let's see. What else? Now, TPS. So under the Trump administration, TPS is supposed to, for most of the country, supposed to expire March 2021. And so I believe that that's something that the Biden administration will look into. And I believe that they will be able to reinstate TPS for people from Haiti, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and El Salvador, and all those other countries, Honduras. So let's see, what else? Well, we talked about the travel ban, the case processing times. We've talked about Daca, and let's talk about ICE policy. There's going to be a 100-day stay on all deportations until I believe they make their own policies regarding deportations. So now, with regards to filing paperwork, this is a good time to put your paperwork in. You know, as you can tell, immigration is that area because the immigration courts are subject to a president's Department of Justice. It's not a regular court where, you know, that is autonomous in itself. So the president has a really great sway on what happens in immigration court or what happens with immigration laws. So I would encourage everyone to, as soon as President-elect Biden comes into office, you want to begin to put in your paperwork so that, you know, at least you take advantage of rules that are favorable or at least fair, right? So let's see. Linda Louise, yes, call my office. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. 973-993-1900. So let's see, do I have any other questions? Looking up here. So let's see, is there anything else? Any other questions anyone has? Otherwise, I will sign out. So, so now with regards to the naturalization test, it's just, you know, this administration is just making it more difficult, more complex, but that's something that Biden can restore back to the current, to the current test. So we're hoping that he's gonna do that. Anything else? Okay, I think this software I'm using actually worked out easier than I thought it would. So Let's see. Let me look through your questions and see if there's anything. Linda Louise, yes, you can have my assistance and we can talk about that if you call my office, okay? All right. Let's see. Anything else? All right. I don't see any other questions. So I'm going to sign off. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week coming ahead and try and be safe. Do what you got to do to be safe. So I have a question from Zoe. Let's see, Zoe, what do you say? What if I put in VAWA for 2 months and no letter? What does, you have to explain that. What if you put in VAWA for 2 months and no letter? Oh, do you mean you filed 2 months ago and you haven't received anything? Well, it's taken a little, if that's what you mean, it's taken a little while. And I'm not sure if it's because of coronavirus, but the way the VAWA application process works, you put in your application, of course, you get the receipt saying they received it. And if they find that you've made like a preliminary, a good argument, they send you a prima facie determination, which really is not an approval, but basically it says that they've looked at your application cursory, in a cursory fashion, and it looks like you've done a good job making out your case. So that prima facie determination comes in usually about 3 to 6 months. I mean, COVID is, skewing the dates now, but if it's just 2 months, give it another month, okay? Zoe, give it another month. All right. All right, so let's look at, I have another question from Rachel who says, please, can you explain a bit on sponsorship when filing? Okay, Rachel, I believe you're asking about when somebody is filing for a family member and if they don't make enough money and the amount of money that they're required to make is, you have to make in 125% over the federal poverty guidelines. So the amount of money that the U.S. citizen or legal green card, permanent green card holder, the amount of money they should be making is determined by the amount of people in their family or the amount of people they filed for in the past. So let's assume that your spouse is filing for you, and your spouse has 2 children, so that makes it 4. And then if he's filed for somebody in the past and that person is not a citizen yet, that makes it 5, right? So you would be looking for somebody who's making a certain amount of money, and you can figure out how much that is on the I-864P as in Paul. It'll tell you how much the person is making. Now, if the person is not making enough money, then they need a co-sponsor. Now, the co-sponsor can be a U.S. citizen or it can be a green card holder. And that sponsor also has to be making the required amount of money, which is 125% over the federal poverty guidelines, okay? If you want to get more information or if you want us to talk in detail about your own particular situation, call my office, 973-993-1900, okay? I hope that answered your question, Rachel. So let's go to, so Linda Louise says, I want to know if they have my new address. I do not receive any confirmation. So Linda, I would encourage you to put in an AR11. That's a change of address. If you've moved, you're required to send your change of address to USCIS when you move. And you can go to the case status update to see what they've done on it's not always accurate though, but I think you want to do that. And you can call USCIS to find out if they've sent you any email. But like I said to you, if it's just 2 months that you filed your VAWA application, it's possible that you may not have received it, but you can call them and follow up, okay? VAWA has its own number, and you can reach them that way, okay? It's a VAWA hotline number. I don't have it off the top of my head, but if you call my office on Monday, we can give it to you. All right. So let's see. Any other questions? Okay, so Humble. I really like this software because now I can see these questions without squinting and giving myself wrinkles. So Humble says, want to know how long it takes when it comes to VAWA. So if you file a VAWA application, the process of the approval really takes 18 to 24 months. That's how long it's taken now to get the approval. However, you can get a prima facie determination within 3 to 6 months. And the prima facie determination, like I explained before, is basically USCIS saying that you've made a preliminary good case of the fact that you are being abused in a relationship with a US citizen or a green card holder. And so the prima facie determination would allow you to get certain benefits, Medicaid, food stamps, and all that. Now, if you also file for adjustment of status with your VAWA application, you're able to get a work permit within 6 months. So that allows you to work while you're pending your VAWA application and pending your adjustment of status interview. All right? I hope that answered your question. Humble. Okay. So I'm looking through this. I don't see any more questions. I guess you guys have no other questions. It's Sunday evening. It's 6:23 p.m. So, okay, what's next after you receive a letter for fingerprint? Humble says. So let's put this up. When you receive a letter for your fingerprint, you go get your fingerprint done. And like I said, shortly after that, you get a deferred adjudication, which means you cannot be deported. You also, if you did an adjustment of status, right around there, you should be getting your work permit. And then, nothing really happens until, you get, the VAWA unit, makes a decision on your case. And like I said, it takes 18 to 24 months. And then you also have your adjustment of status interview. And once you adjust your status, you get your green card. And within 3 years, you naturalize. All right. Okay. Well, guys, thank you. It was nice. I haven't done a live in so long. And it was nice coming back to talk to you guys. So I will try to check back with you next week. Until then, stay safe.